Welcome to the Baseballtown Charities Phillies Winter Tour 2021, presented by Leibensberger Funeral Homes.
Since its inception in 2002, Baseballtown at Charities has been investing in the future of baseball, raising several $1 million to build facilities and fund programs in and around Reading. It started with the construction of Gordon Hudak Stadium at Lowers Park, a baseball palace for inner-city boys and girls of the Baseballtown Junior RBI League. It continued with the renovation of Reading's historic Bear Park, and then expanded beyond the city limits to build the Savage 61 Dream Field, a ballpark specially designed for those with physical and cognitive challenges. In addition to financially supporting the leagues that utilize these facilities, Baseballtown at Charities recently started the Rip It for Life program, which provides free lessons, batting cage time, and invaluable guidance about life to players who lack the financial ability to pursue playing at a higher level. We invite you to celebrate our national pastime while preserving its future by supporting Baseballtown at Charities. Please visit baseballtown.org to donate today.
Hi everyone, I'm Emily Messina and welcome to the Baseballtown Charities Phillies Winter Tour. Tonight I have Aaron Nola joining me. Thanks so much for joining me. How are you doing today, Aaron?
I'm doing great. It's good to be on here. Sorry we couldn't be there in person, but we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah, I'm glad to make it happen either way. How's your off season been going?
It's been great. It's been kind of relaxing, and I just started baseball stuff up several weeks ago, and spring training's all around the corner, so about to head out to Florida in a couple weeks, and hopefully we get a full season in and a spring training with fans. We're definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, it feels like everything's really starting to come together quickly. Are you excited to head down to Florida? I'm sure it's a little bit warmer than where you're at right now.
I am, yeah. I usually go down a couple weeks before we have to report, so I get to kind of get settled in and get a little taste of hot weather again. It's been cold, like you said, over here in Louisiana. One of the colder off seasons the past few weeks, almost since Christmas. But it's been good. I mean, we don't really get the cold weather that much over here, so in the off season it's nice. You know, we get to build fires and stuff like that as much as we can. So, but yeah, definitely excited to go down to Florida and reunite with the team.
It's great to hear everyone's going to be able to get back together. And 2020 was a pretty good season for you, and you ended the season actually being a nominee for the Roberto Clemente Award with your fight against ALS and your work with Phil Abundance. How is that an important part of your career?
It's important. I think one of the more important parts of my career, because baseball it's not going to last forever, obviously, as you know, and charity work and giving back, that's going to last a lot longer. And as much as I can do that, as much as I can help people out and still be involved in all that work, is it's really important to me, and it's important to my family as well.
That's really great to hear. And I know I've been told that was also a big part of things that you did while you were here in Reading. You did some community outreach and you did some volunteering with the community here. Can you talk a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, I think Reading, I think it's a good starting point for everybody in Reading too, because when I was there, my first and especially my second year in 2015, when I started the year there, it's a really special place because it's really a family-oriented feeling, and it's kind of a carnival all the time over there. So I feel everybody gets closer, and especially, like I said, you're in the clubhouse right there. It's one of the smallest clubhouses too that I've ever been in. So to interact with fans that are that close, your teammates that are that close, kids that are, wanting your autograph and look up to you, it's kind of a starting point for guys who are, making their way up to the major leagues. I mean, we all remember when we were kids and we looked up to minor leaguers and major leaguers, and some of us, like myself, I never really had been to too many minor league and major league games to try to get autographs from those guys and be that close to them. So it feels good to give back to those people, and especially the kids. I mean, that's what we do it for. We do it for the kids and to be around them and to be role models for them.
Yeah, you were definitely a fan favorite when you were here. What is your go-to to interact with kids like that, with young fans? How do you approach them?
I just want to be approachable. You see some guys, they kind of they're standoffish. They want to be kind of by themselves. They don't want any part of interacting with anybody, which is understandable sometimes because you have a job and you're really focused on that. But in my opinion, for myself, when it comes to the kids and younger kids, I mean, I always want to be approachable. I always want to let them have somebody to look up to talk to approach, even if talking or asking me questions or taking a picture or signing a ball or autograph or whatever. Because that's what they're going to remember. They're going to remember going to a baseball game and either going up to a guy that ignores them or going up to a guy that talks to him or takes a picture or whatever. So that's kind of what I've always wanted to strive for outside of baseball or baseball games.
You're definitely right. I'm sure that's memories that they'll remember forever. Were there players that you looked up to when you were either a young kid starting out or even when you were in the minor leagues and you could see yourself getting closer?
Not really. I mean, we were in Baton Rouge. We don't really have any minor league or major league teams. I mean, we have New Orleans Zephyrs that were over here in New Orleans, but about an hour from New Orleans, so I didn't really go to many games. I think I went to one, but I didn't know anybody on the teams. And I think I went to one Houston Astros game. But that's about it. I mean, I had my favorite players like Ken Griffey Jr. I always looked up to, and finally I got to meet him in college, so which was pretty cool. But I mean, other than that, not really. When I'm especially day games when we were able to sign, like we'd go out and throw on the field, and then we'd come and there would be fans and kids wanting autographs, so we'd sign. And when a kid gets kind of starstruck, it kind of, I guess, hits home for me. And I would think like I didn't really have the chance to be close to a major leaguer. I know when kids see guys like Bryce Harper, or JT Realmuto, guys like that, like superstars. I can only imagine like if I was in their shoes, like how starstruck I'd be. So I think it's important to take the time and say what's up to the kids.
Well, I know a lot of kids are definitely starstruck by you. I actually saw an interview you did a while back with a young kid and with Rhys Hoskins, and he asked you with or without. And it's kind of a Philadelphia question. It's something that a lot of people outside the area probably don't know what that means. And you at that time were just starting out in Philadelphia and you didn't know what it meant. You were the kid had a great response. Do you know what it means now? Years being in the city?
Was it that the cheese?
It's the cheesesteak. It means with or without onions.
With or without.
How do you order your cheesesteak now?
Yeah. Oh man. With everything.
Everything on it.
Yeah, I guess I was a little pickier back then, but I like it all on there now. That's
funny. Do you have a go-to Wawa order?
Wawa. Wow. When I was in Lehigh Valley, I went to Wawa like every day. I know I got the breakfast burritos a lot. I can't remember what I got on it, but probably everything. I'm not picky when it comes to food, so I just get everything on burritos, sandwiches. But I do remember that interview with the kid. It was I think it was with Reese.
Yeah.
And I had seen him. I think it was at the ALS event the first time we met, and when we sat at the table signing autographs, and we saw him, and we ended up doing the interview, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. And talking about food too, I heard a story of a time when you were in Reading and you brought some of your favorite Louisiana fish into the clubhouse for your teammates to try. Do you remember that at all?
Oh yeah, that was a crawfish.
How'd that go over with everyone else?
Well, when you go into a clubhouse, there's not too many guys from Louisiana.
Sure.
You know, many guys that I've played with from Louisiana or, Mississippi. A lot of guys are from West Coast, Northeast, places like that. So when I brought them in, I asked guys if they would eat them, and the Lat guys actually ate more than the guys from like California and the West Coast, and they didn't know what to do with them. So they liked them. They didn't eat much of them, but I had brought my parents shipped I think a 50 pounds of crawfish, and
That's awesome.
I brought it in the clubhouse for a couple of days. But it was good. It was fun.
Yeah, definitely got a lot of mixed experiences, especially I feel like in the minor leagues, everyone's coming from a different place.
Yeah.
So talking a little bit about baseball, when you made that transition from AA to AAA and then to the majors, do you remember your major league debut?
I do. Oh yeah.
Does it sit like in the forefront of your mind when you go out there?
It does. Yeah. I remember being in Lehigh Valley, and I was in Rochester, and I was getting hit around like crazy. One of the worst games I throw in the minor leagues. And the next day we're going to work out. We had the bus to go work out, and the head coach calls me over and told me like, "Hey, you're gonna be with the big club in a couple of days." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "You're gonna be pitching in a couple of days against the Rays." And I thought he was kidding because I had one of the worst games that I've ever had in the minor leagues. And I go to work out, and I was kind of just still trying to process it. And then everything was kind of sped up from there. But I do remember my debut. It was we ended up losing 1-0, and the pitcher hit a home run off of me to win the game. So we always mess about that. But it's a time to remember, and I'm glad it's over. I'm glad I'm not a rookie anymore. But looking at this year, I'm glad that I came up when I came up, because guys that making their debut now or this past year was without fans, so they didn't get to experience their first game as a big leaguer at a full house. So I'm glad I came up when I came up.
Yeah, I'm sure that must have been such a whirlwind for you. And now that you've really established yourself as a top starter in the program, I'm sure it's a much different story every time you go out there.
It is, yeah. I mean, I learned a lot of stuff. Learned a lot about myself over these past years, and it goes by quick. I mean, this is going to be my, I think, 6th full year this year, and played with a lot of guys, a lot of great guys, great teammates that have taught me a lot of things, coaches, pitching coaches. But I mean, my main goal is to always be approachable, like I was saying, not just the kids, but to my teammates, to the rookies coming up that want to learn, that want to be really good. And I always want to be approachable, that guy they can always talk to ask questions, because I was in their shoes at one point. And obviously I'm still learning too. So guys that are older than me that have been in playoffs, been in World Series, won Cy Youngs, like I'm always asking them questions and kind of observing what they do on a daily basis. So that's the fun part about baseball. You never figure it out. Something.
That's a good mindset to have. I'm sure it's a fun road that you've gone through. And now that we're transitioning into the 2021 season, and the Phillies are adjusting with a different staff than they've had last year, and there's some changes going on, and it's really exciting. We're getting close. How are you preparing? Are you ready for the season to begin?
I am, yeah. I think myself and everybody else is preparing for a 162 game season of regular spring training. Obviously going to be different from last year because we only played 60 something games, and going to be a long year, but we got to, for me, I try to train for the long season. So to keep my body healthy and in shape, and my arm in shape for a long season, because it gets stressful at times, and I got to keep myself level headed throughout the year. And I feel like that starts in the off season and in spring training to really train for what my goals are.
That makes a lot of sense. And did you enjoy last season with Girardi? Are you excited to have Sam Fold at the helm, someone that you've probably been around the block a little bit with?
Yeah, last year was awesome. We had a great coaching staff, great group of guys as always. But yeah, Joe's great. He's obviously we know his background and his career with the Yankees all those years. His playing days, and Sam's a great guy. I think he's a good addition, and he's got that experience in the game playing too. So being around him for the last few years has been good. He's just a solid guy all around.
Well, that's great to hear. You're looking forward to it. And final question for you. There's a lot of Aaron Nola bobbleheads circulating around. I mean, I know the Fightin' Phils have one of their own. Are you in possession of any of those? How do you feel about that when you see that as the giveaway?
I didn't even know that, honestly. But I think I don't have any. I actually have one. I think I have one over here, but I think it's not from Reading. I think it's that one where they did a Star Wars night one, I guess, in Philly. Mm-hmm. I think my mom's got a few, but it's actually funny you say that. I actually used to collect bobbleheads.
Oh gosh.
Hey, before our house, when I was younger, our house burned down. So I had a whole window seal of probably 40 bobbleheads of guys I like to watch and kind of keep track of. So that's pretty funny.
Yeah, a lot of people are big collectors of those items, and that's fun that your mom has some of yours.
Yeah, it's pretty cool though. Pretty cool to see myself have a bobblehead.
Of course, I can't imagine. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for joining me, Aaron, and thank you to all of our fans for supporting the Baseballtown Charities Phillies Winter Tour. And if you want to donate, head to baseballtown.org, and you can check everything out there. But thanks, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you this season.
Thank you, Emily.
After losing a loved one, families often wonder what next. You'll find the answer at Leibensberger Funeral Homes.
Everyone who walks through our doors is treated with respect and compassion.
We take the time to learn about your loved one and celebrate their life with a service that reflects who they really were.
Offering 2 locations, ample parking, and a spacious chapel and vestibule. Let our family help your family find peace at Leibensberger Funeral Homes.
Thank you for watching the Baseballtown Charities Phillies Winter Tour, presented by Leibensberger Funeral Homes. Special thanks also to Herbine & Company, GT Church, Savage